this. So if it's an attack command, here you go, it's a red line that all the Marines are following. So that means that while they're following this line, if they encounter any enemies, they are going to engage them in combat. And if I add another command to that with just right-clicking, it's going to tell them to just move. One very important thing to note about moving in this game is that if you right-click to move somewhere, your units ignore everything along that path, but if you tell them to attack move, they will attack enemy units they encounter. So this means that there could be a huge enemy ambush here, but I told them to move all the way across over here in the map, so they could start getting attacked, but they're not going to care because I told them to go over there, and they don't know, I didn't tell them to attack move. So just keep that in mind. Move, whatever you right click on is the unit's top priority. It will ignore everything else until it has reached that goal or accomplished that. You tell the attack unit to attack move while going somewhere, then it will engage an enemy along the way. So I'm going to go ahead and construct additional barracks now. I'm going to do the same thing I did with supply depots and throw down 3 barracks in quick succession with an SCV. So I'm going to show you something else that is very handy for the Terran, and that is the command center can upgrade. If you looked over here, you notice that there were 2 icons to the right of the train SCV button. They were both grayed out, but now one of them is highlighted. This is because this is the orbital command upgrade. The orbital command upgrade is unavailable until you build a barracks, the same way that barracks are unavailable until you build a supply depot. This is what we call the tech tree, and if you go up here to help, and then Terran tech tree, you can see that there's an arrow from each building here that shows the requirements for everything that you can build in the game. So here's supply depot, which leads to a barracks, which leads to a factory, and a factory leads to a starport, and then that leads to a fusion core. Those are advanced buildings. You don't need to worry about remembering, but I'm just letting you know that everything that is everything advanced in this game has a requirement that must be met before you can construct it. So I have I'm gonna set 2 more guys to the gas, so I have a total of 3 workers in that gas.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead and show you something. Oh, I'm sorry, I got distracted. I was showing you the orbital command upgrade. Anyways, you've enabled the orbital command upgrade, so you're gonna hit B or click on the icon here. I'm just gonna hit B. And the command center, you'll notice, starts transforming. You cannot train SCVs during this period of time that it is transforming. As soon as the command center finishes upgrading, you will be able to, however, and I'll show you what that does as soon as it's finished. In the meantime, I'm going to shift add these barracks that are being constructed right now. So I'm going to just double click on this barracks. All 6 barracks, including the one under construction, have been selected. I'm going to press shift 6, and all of them are right there. Set a new rally point for all of them, and now we have 6 lines for 6 barracks, all constructing, that are all capable of constructing. So the orbital command is finished. You'll notice it looks a little different. It has a huge antenna over it now, and also the command card for it has changed significantly. You can still train SCVs, which I'm going to do, but now it has 3 new commands here, as well as a purple bar. The purple bar signifies its energy, which is listed down here. So these new abilities here require energy from the command center to be used. The energy from the command center, or orbital command I should say, is always recharging at about a rate of 1 per second. So you can use one of these abilities and just wait for the energy to recharge and then use another ability. So what are these abilities? First one is Call Down Mule, which is arguably the most important ability the orbital command will offer to you. No, actually, it is in fact the most important thing that the orbital command will offer to you. Call Down Mule, I'm going to select E, I'm going to press E to select it, and I'm going to click on a mineral patch. And what this does is it calls down an additional worker from the sky. This is not an SCV, this is a mule robot unit. Because it is a robot, it does not take up supply. Keep this in mind, this unit does not take up supply, so you can bring it down and it'll start harvesting minerals for you without actually using up your supply, any of your supply. You need to stop repeating that. The cool thing about the mule is that it's timed, it only lasts 90 seconds, but those are 90 seconds during which it is harvesting minerals at an accelerated rate. While the SCV brings back 5 minerals with every round trip it makes, the mule brings back about, what was it? We're looking at about 30 minerals per round trip, and it takes about the same time as an SCV. So we're talking about exponentially faster mineral gathering than if you were to just use SCVs. And I mean, you're still going to have to use plenty of SCVs because you cannot just rely on mules alone. But the mules are a handy little edge that for your economy that you can have. Just keep calling them down as your energy recharges, and you'll have minerals coming in much faster. So what are the other 2 abilities? We have Call Down Extra Supplies, which is handy in certain situations, but it's not something you really want to rely on. Basically, I'm going to select it with X, and I'm going to click on a supply depot. Now that supply depot counts for 2, so you'll notice my supply just jumped from 59 to 67. It's as if though I had constructed another supply depot, only it didn't cost minerals, it cost energy, which is just going to end up recharging. You might think this is pretty handy, and it is in certain situations, but in this game you're going to want to make sure you never get blocked in terms of supply, so you're always going to want to build ahead of yourself. So if you think you're going to be hitting the supply limit pretty soon, you want to make supply depots instead of using this, because it is much more useful in the long term to call down mules than it is to call down extra supply. Because if you call down extra supply, you might supply unblock yourself, and you might save 100 minerals. But the mule is gathering maybe 300 to 400 minerals in its whole lifespan, and it's bringing these in very, very fast. So there's really no reason why you should not prioritize the mule over the supply depot, over the extra supplies. I mean, because with the resources the mule is bringing in, you'll have enough resources to build another supply depot and then some. Finally, we have one final ability that you need to be aware of, and that is the scanner sweep. In this game, it is very important to gather intel on your opponent by moving your own units in and figuring out what's going on. But let's say there's for whatever reason you cannot scan him, you cannot scout him out, you cannot send a unit in there, you cannot see what he's up to, you don't even know what kind of army he has. If you press C to select the scanner sweep, you'll have this huge red reticle appear, and you just select somewhere on the map, usually where you know your opponent's base is. You click there, and that area is revealed to you. You can see everything that is happening in that area immediately. So this lets you gain some additional intel very quickly. You have to be aware of the fact that your enemy can see when you scanner sweep them. They will see that huge energy circle that is showing that he's being scanned. The other very useful thing to remember about the scanner sweep is that although it only lasts for 20 seconds, it can be a lifesaver when you're fighting enemies that are cloaked. In this game, there are units that can render themselves invisible, either via cloaking or by burrowing underground, and you will not be able to see them. However, if you do a scanner sweep over an area where you know an invisible unit is in, that invisible unit will be revealed as long as the scan lasts. So that gives you an opportunity to actually fight back. For example, let's say that your enemy has sent invisible units here to kill your marines. You can't see it, so your marines can't fight back. If you do a scanner sweep, however, they will be revealed, and you will be able to fight back. You got to make sure that scanner sweep counts, though, however, because it's only going to last for 12 seconds. So during those 12 seconds, you got to make sure you kill those enemy units. All right, let's see. I just want to showcase one other very useful thing about the Terran structures. Things like supply depots can only do this. They can lower themselves into the ground and then rise back up, which is useful for blocking off your ramp, so that way you don't restrict movement of your units. But primary tech structures like the orbital command, the barracks and factory and starport and so on and so forth have the liftoff command. What does this let you do? Well, I'm going to select all the barracks at once, and I'm going to press L. All the barracks are going to lift off from the ground, and now they can move around the map. They can move very slowly, but what this means basically is that you can relocate your entire base wherever you need to. So I'm going to press L again to land this barracks. I'm going to press L, land this barracks, press L, land this barracks, press L, land this barracks, press L, land this barracks. There are many reasons why you would lift off your buildings and move them around. I'm not going to elaborate on that too far, but I want you to be aware of the fact that you can do that. Of course, you can't really relocate supply depots, so if your base is getting trashed and you are trying to save as much as you can, there are certain things that you're just not going to be able to. You're just going to need to find someplace new and start building your supply depots up again. Alright, I think that is about all I want to show you for now. I'm going to go ahead and quit this game, and I hope you took away a lot of useful information from that about about the very basic controls of the game, more or less.
Go ahead.
And I'm going to show you more advanced things in a little bit. I'm going to definitely try to demonstrate some of the higher tier units, how to get them. And I'm also going to actually play a live match against a computer, and I'm going to show you a build order, which is going to be very essential for you to understand what that is. And I also need to explain the concepts of micro and macro. But like I said, I'll get to that in a little minute. So for now, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. I hope you took something useful away from this, and see you soon.